city of Yucaipa, California, and beyond. I'm Andrew Russ, a registered dietitian working with the city of Yucaipa, California's Healthy Yucaipa Committee to bring you a series of nutrition education videos that will help the whole family to understand how to make healthy diet choices that can reduce the risk of obesity and other nutrition-related disease. Today's video is the third in a series of 6 videos that can help you and your family understand the basics of good nutrition. Today's lesson is about energy balance and weight loss. Before we begin, I'd like to define what a calorie is. Our fancy definition from dictionary.com defines a calorie as a unit of heat equal to 4.1868 joules. The simple definition I like to give people is the energy provided by food and burned during the day. Now that we understand what a calorie is, we can discuss how weight loss, weight maintenance, and weight gain are all determined by calories. In the diagram on the screen, we see that energy balance is the balance between the calories we take in and the calories that we burn. The calories we take in are known as our energy intake and are comprised of all calories consumed, including both food and beverages. The calories we consume come from 4 major components of our diet. These 4 components are called macronutrients. These include protein, carbohydrate, fat, and alcohol. The 4 components each provide a different number of calories per gram consumed. Protein is 4 calories per gram, carbohydrate, 4 calories per gram, fat, 9 calories per gram, and alcohol, 7 calories per gram. Notice that fat and alcohol provide more calories per gram than protein or carbohydrate. The calories we burn are our energy expenditure and are composed of our resting metabolic rate, the thermic effect of the food we eat, and our daily activity. Resting metabolic rate is the energy needed to maintain the body while it is at rest and accounts for 60 to 70% of the calories we burn each day. The resting metabolic rate is made up of the calories burned by our lean body mass, also known as muscle, and the calories used by our organs, like our heart, brain, and lungs. We can affect the amount of calories we burn by increasing our muscle mass. Research shows that our body burns 4.5 to 7 calories per pound of muscle per day. While that doesn't seem like a lot, the numbers can add up over time. The thermic effect of food is the amount of energy it takes our body to process and store or use the food we eat, and accounts for about 10% of the calories we burn each day. It's interesting to note that fat requires very little of the body's energy to be stored, somewhere between 0 and 3%. Carbohydrate accounts for about 5 to 10%, while protein can account for 20 to 30% of the energy required to process the foods we eat. Because we need all 3 of these components in our diet, there's very little we can do to affect the amount of calories our body uses to process our foods. Theoretically, we can burn more calories by eating a larger amount of protein, but the amount of additional calories burned would be small. Our physical activity accounts for 20 to 30% of our daily energy expenditure and consists of our simple daily activities like walking, doing chores, and working, as well as our exercise activities like jogging, cycling, or weightlifting. Of the 3 components of our calorie expenditure, activity is the component that we have the most control over. Increasing our physical activity is the best way to increase the amount of calories our bodies burn each day. When it comes to physical activity, there are 2 main types, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic basically means with oxygen, and anaerobic means without oxygen. Aerobic exercise includes low-intensity activities like walking, jogging, swimming, and other activities that can be continued for extended periods of time. Anaerobic exercise includes high-intensity activities like sprinting, weightlifting, and other activities that cannot be continued for more than short intervals. Research has shown that low-intensity aerobic exercise burns calories while doing the exercise. However, high-intensity exercise can burn calories during exercise and up to 14 hours afterwards, totaling as many as 190 extra calories burned. So now that we've looked at all the components of our body's energy balance equation, let's go ahead and spell it out a little bit better. Total calories needed equal our resting metabolic rate plus the thermic effect of food plus the physical activity. The difficult part of this equation is figuring out how many calories are in our resting metabolic rate and the thermic effect of food. The good news is there's a simple formula for this based on our height, weight, and age. This formula is known as Mifflin-St. Jeor, and there is a calculator available at the following link to help you determine your resting metabolic rate and your thermic effect of food. Please pause this video now and visit the following link to figure out yours now. Now that you have your number, we can make our equation very simple. Now, the total calories needed equals the number you got from the calculator plus your physical activity. Please note that the number you got from the calculator replaces both your resting metabolic rate and the thermic effect of food. Now let's put this into practice. Let's say your number was 1500. That means you only need 1500 calories for the entire day if you are just resting. Now if you do any type of exercise, you'll need more calories. Let's say you went to the gym, ran on the treadmill, and burned 500 calories. Now you would need to eat 2000 calories to maintain your weight. Let's say you're like most Americans and you want to lose weight. That would mean you need to eat less than 2000 calories. A good rule of thumb is to start with a deficit of about 500 calories per day. Over 1 week, this should help you to lose about 1 pound. We know this because 1 pound of fat equals about 3,500 calories. Now that we have seen that losing weight comes down to simply knowing how many calories you need and then eating less, let's be realistic. You may only need 1,500 calories per day, but sometimes you feel like eating 2,000 calories. In that case, it may be difficult to lose weight. While there's no simple answer to how we can eat less than we need, let's take a closer look at each part of our energy balance equation, and I'll give you some tips on how to improve each component. When it comes to the calories you consume, there are some simple things you could do to help you feel fuller so that you can eat less. Decrease the amount of simple carbohydrates you eat. These are things like candy, soda, and chips. These foods have loads of calories, and you don't feel full for very long after you eat them. Also, decrease the amount of fatty foods you eat like chocolate, butter, and high-fat cuts of meat. Fatty foods have more calories than protein or carbohydrates. Next, increase the amount of lean protein you eat. Lean protein includes foods like skinless chicken, turkey, and tofu. These foods have less total calories and keep you full and satisfied for long periods of time. In addition, your body uses more energy to process protein. When considering resting metabolic rate, remember that the number is increased if you have a larger amount of lean body mass, or muscle. If you can increase the amount of muscle you have, your body will burn more calories even when you're not exercising. The thermic effect of food only accounts for a small amount of the calories you burn each day. Don't waste too much time trying to worry about this number. Physical activity is probably the area where most people can make the largest improvement in their energy balance equation. Try to burn at least an extra 500 calories per day doing exercise. In addition, remember that your body will continue to burn additional calories throughout the day if the exercise you choose to do is high intensity. If your goal is to increase the amount of calories your body burns, the best exercise is weight-bearing high-intensity exercise. This will promote calorie burn throughout the day from the lasting effects of high-intensity exercise, and it will also help you to gain more muscle, which will increase your resting metabolic rate. Let's look at one more example of how all these tips can help us with our energy balance equation. Let's say that our resting metabolic rate and our thermic effect of food was again 1500. That means the total calories we need equals 1500 plus whatever exercise we do. Now let's say that we exercise by doing weightlifting and we burn 500 calories. Not only will we raise the amount of calories we need for the day by 500, we will also get a boost the rest of the day and burn up to 190 more calories. In addition, over time, this high-intensity exercise will increase our muscle mass and make our resting metabolic rate increase. So now our resting metabolic rate may go up by another 100 calories per day, plus the exercise we got and plus the additional calories our body burns after the tough exercise. Now the calories we need for the day has increased from 1,500 to as much as 2,290 calories. That concludes this month's video, but be sure to follow us for future videos brought to you by the City of Yucaipa, California's Healthy Yucaipa Committee. Thank you and goodbye.